Hello and welcome to Musically Impaired, a podcast about the history and music behind your favorite genres. I'm Marie, and joining me as always is my friend Casey.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing
And
today, Casey?
I'm doing fantastic today, Murray.
That's great. That's great.
I had a rough morning. My card was declined getting a Celsius today.
That's so tough. That's really tough.
It's really tough sometimes. That's just how it goes, and you just keep moving.
The struggle is real.
So what is the genre we are focusing on today?
The genre for today is 2010s psychedelic pop, which is, an interesting genre. Another thing I noticed about the genres, the picks we have for today, is that they're pretty much all also of the genre psychedelic or neo-psychedelica. But
There is a lot of crossover, yeah.
Yeah, more strictly, it's psychedelic pop from the 2010s on regular music. But yeah, I finally planned an intro. I've been saying that I've been planning one. I was gonna make one for 4 episodes now, and I finally did it. I thought about getting real quirky with it and being like, "Hello, musiclings," or something like that.
Oh, we could go like full millennial next time.
Full millennial, full quirk chungus.
Yeah. No. Yeah. What's that image say? It's the Quirk Chungus and the Who. I'll be the other one.
You'll be the other one.
Yeah,
I can be the quirk chungus.
You can be the Quirk Chunk. I'm forgetting what the guy is called in that image. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So what were your motivations for choosing the genre of psychedelic pop for today's episode?
My motivations and my history of the genre is that I think for both of us, this is a genre and a time period of the genre that we're both at least sort of familiar with. 2010s. In the 2010s, psychedelic pop, more specifically, was definitely having a moment, right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Not just with Tame and Impala, but like, Mid-Air Thief, Current, Little Dark Age, and even like the 2 picks we have aren't really like niche.
They're really not.
They're pretty popular bands at the very least. And I wanted to pick something that I don't know, people would definitely recognize at least one of these albums. And I think, yeah, if you're listening to a music podcast, you probably know at least Tame Impala or Mid-Air Thief or MGMT, right?
Like for sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted something that we're both familiar with and that's, pretty decently popular.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, 2010s psychedelic pop was definitely having a moment. This was definitely one of the genres I listened to a decent bit in, like, high school. I was more on the indie side of things, the more Mac DeMarco influence, but definitely this was one of my genres back in high school. So, how about you? What's your history?
All of my psychedelic pop listening, especially from this era, has been a lot more recent. It's all been in my 20s. I was too busy listening to like hip hop in my high school years. Like I wasn't.
What did you listen to?
We don't have to get into that right now.
Okay.
But I was busy listening to other things.
I gotcha.
You'll appreciate. I definitely had like some J. Cole on my playlist, but not good J. Cole. But like not good J. Cole. Not good J. Cole.
Listen.
Like what was that album that he was making fun of Lil Pump on?
Oh,
like I had that on my playlist.
Yeah, I had that too. KOD.
Yeah.
KOD is the reason I got Spotify because it wasn't.
Is it really?
I really wanted to listen. I really wanted to listen to it. So my Spotify account is from like 2017. It's just because of that album.
I kept on deleting.
I really wanted to listen to it.
My old accounts to get more free trials.
That
So
is
mine is
really
much more
funny.
recent. It works. They just don't stop
I've been paying
you.
for it. I've been paying for it for like 10 years, but
I mean, that's just how it goes. Hopefully you've been doing like the student when possible.
I'm not I wasn't even doing that when I was a student.
No, but that's what you got to do though.
I should have been. You're right. I should have been.
It comes with Hulu, which I've never used a single time.
Really? That's pretty useful, actually.
I pirate stuff usually. I'm trying to move.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trying to move away from Spotify at some point. I still don't know how to
Fair.
work that out logistically, but we're working on it.
I mostly moved offline, but the problem is that Spotify has a lot of good like sources for things. Like even my offline collection is built on Spotify. So
Yeah, that is
I don't
fair.
know. I'm stuck.
No, it's hard. It's hard.
Spotify also. I support Spotify because you can listen to the critically acclaimed podcast Musically Impaired there.
That is true. That is true. It's one of the biggest
as
benefits of
episode
using the
2.
platform.
It's
For
true.
sure.
It's true. You want to get into the definition and history?
Yeah, let's do that. All right, I got it. So psychedelic pop. I'm just gonna read the Rate Your Music definition. I feel they do a good job with these. It's one of the things they're better at. Psychedelic pop is a genre that applies elements of psychedelia to pop music. The sound produced is often intended to emulate the way music sounds while under the effects of psychedelics. It emphasizes catchy melodic hooks, and vocal harmonies, similar to like 60s sunshine pop. However, unlike sunshine pop, psychedelic pop always retains a quality of surrealism, which is achieved through abstract lyricism or liberal use of tape effects like echo, reverb, or flanging. Or is it flanging?
Yes, I have noticed a lot of. I think it's flanging.
Yeah,
noticed that a lot.
That's my bad. The genre makes frequent use of instruments standard in pop music and rock music, but is usually supplemented by instruments considered unorthodox, such as I can't even pronounce a single one of these. Orchestral elements. I've never heard of any of those, but they use them.
Really?
I've never
like
one.
the alien sounding like.
Okay.
Like the classic like 50s UFO sound.
Oh, you know what? I recently saw that in my music theory class. No, okay. No, I know what that is now.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch how it's like they manipulate radio waves. It's probably
it's
the most
the air.
It's the most Dempa instrument of all time.
That is so true. It's the truest thing you've ever said.
So it was developed alongside psychedelic folk in the 60s and psychedelic rock. The Beach Boys and the Beatles pioneered it. Thinking of the studio itself as an instrument, Pet Sounds and Revolver brought psychedelic music into the mainstream. And then the Zombies, obviously Odyssey and Oracle. I don't know these other albums, but The Millennium Must Begin and The Left Bank's Walk Away Renee also contributed. And then neo-psychedelia emerged in the 80s, which took huge influence from the stuff that was going on in the 60s, like bands like Flaming Lips and the Olivia Tremor Control Project all played key roles.
I always wanted to listen to them.
They're really good. I do recommend them.
Really? Okay.
We'll be talking about them a little later today, actually.
All right.
And a little bit, like a tiny bit. And Animal Collective basically took a lot of the neo-psychedelic elements and applied it to a more pop context. And that was kind of the start of like the 2010s boom of these psychedelic pop bands taking place.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll get a little bit into the history of it, but before that, I love to read a little bit of the all music definition. I did this last time for Dirty South, but it goes, let's see. Where straight psychedelic music actively pushed boundaries, psychedelic pop, by and large, took those innovations and applied them to concise, catchy pop songs. The psychedelic effects were used as trippy dressings, sitars, fuzz guitars, tape effects, backward guitars, even Beach Boys harmonies were all blended into something trippy but usually not too freaky. What's even stranger is that some psychedelic pop is more interesting than the average psychedelica, since it had weird, occasionally awkward blends of psychedelica and pop conventions. I love the just not even an attempt at subjectivity in this site.
No, they don't even try.
This stuff is weird and also more interesting.
They gave up immediately. It's actually
they did that too for the last episode where they were like, what was it? Goody Mob's the only good example of Dirty South.
Yeah,
That'd
no,
be funny.
I don't understand people who use that
It's
site.
it's a, it's an older site, so like unlike Wikipedia or whatever, it doesn't even try to be like objective, which I think
Yeah,
is funny.
I mean it is, but still.
Yeah, but like those definitions said anyway, this is a genre that has its origins in the 60s. Actually, on radio music, it peaks in 1968 with like 1,000 releases. And ever since then, it's been, it's declined a bit, but it's been pretty stable, right?
Hmm.
But as a 60s genre, the two big sort of tentpole releases, and not necessarily the origin, but the two big tentpole releases were, like you said, Revolver from the Beatles and Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, which this might be criminal to admit as someone who has a music podcast, but I've never listened to that album in full.
Which one?
I really need Pet Sounds.
That is kind of a crime. It is.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to glaze it too much.
I know.
It is like the best '60s album. Flat out.
I need to check it out. I know. Maybe we'll talk about it on this show. That could give us
We'll
a good,
we'll get to it. We'll go back
a
to
good chance.
we'll go to Baroque pop at one point, and we'll talk about how it's
Ooh,
the
I like
only
that.
good
I like
example of
that.
it.
I don't know about all that, but
My
Um,
controversial take.
yeah. But anyway, after Revolver and Pet Sounds, it became a very '60s sort of sound, like up there with garage rock. You know, we and then you're getting into the '70s, right? The proto punk era we covered a little bit, and you have stuff like Pink Floyd, of course, right? It's more psychedelic rock, but I think their influence on the things we're talking about today is like
Oh
you
yeah,
can't understate it.
yeah,
Like, even
yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
for
more
sure.
poppy the sound we're talking about than rocky, it's like you can't not talk about like Pink Floyd.
A
And
lot of they
and
all took from the psychedelic bands before them, whether they were pop or rock.
yes, exactly. So like you have that '70s wave of classic '70s psychedelic rock, including Pink Floyd and other things. Another band of which I've only listened to a very, very small amount. I've never heard
You're killing me right now.
what's the one with the guy on fire? Shine on You Crazy Diamond? I've never heard that.
That you okay? That's not what it's called, but that is a song on the album. You're right about that.
Oh yeah. All right. What is it?
We'll get
I
there.
don't remember
We'll
what
get
it's
there.
called.
We'll get
Okay.
there. We'll get there.
I've heard that song,
Yeah.
but yeah, classic '70s psychedelic rock, and then you have the '80s, right? New wave and synth and punk music. I think there's a very strong, well, especially synth pop. A lot of these albums we're talking about today are, you could classify them as synth pop in addition to neo psychedelica and psychedelic pop. But also, I think there's an underrated sort of new wave
I
influence
don't
in a
disagree
lot of
with that.
these.
Yeah, I don't
Like
disagree with that at all.
not just Talking Heads, but XTC, as you said, of course, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get to the '90s, and I feel shoegaze, bedroom pop, and that sort of is another contributing factor. I think you can't ignore, even if this
They
genre isn't
they
really
definitely
shoegazy,
tone
but
it down, but the the
Mhm.
way they use distortion in the '90s with those bands and like
Yes, the
reverb
flangers
is
and all that.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100% influence.
Absolutely. And then in the 2000s, I think late '90s, 2000s, you get I feel like almost underrated. You get a lot of influence from British sort of psychedelic bands that are, you know, piggybacking off the Britpop episode, and in the wake of Britpop, you have these bands that are a bit more experimental. You have the Flaming Lips, Super Furry Animals, Primal Scream. These British bands that push the boundaries a little bit more. I don't know if you listen to any of them, but they definitely have.
I like Flame
I can
Lips is really good.
Yeah, Flaming Lips is good. I can see their influence in a lot of this stuff. Some more than others, but
Yeah.
And then mid 2000s, you have Animal Collective and things like that. I haven't ever listened to Animal Collective. I really need to. I've heard a lot of good things.
I don't get the love for Animal Collective.
Mhm.
Like I get it, but they've really never clicked with me.
Okay.
Like, and people are like, oh, their best is, I forget which one it's like their first one's like incredible, and I haven't listened to it recently, so I should probably look back into it. but I'm just
Yeah.
not very impressed by it. So I don't know. That might just be a me issue.
That's fair. That's
with
fair.
that.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with them at all. I know of them as a band, and I know they were important enough in like the 2000s indie psychedelic scene, or just indie scene in general. And I know they're especially influential for some of the bands we're talking about today, but I've never checked them out. I am more familiar with the British side of things. I like the Flaming Lips a lot, and Super Furry Animals. Good band. Good band. I like
I'll
them.
have to check them out. I don't think I've even heard of them.
That sort of post-Britpop sound. And then in the 2010s, you have a lot of different things. I think late 2000s, you have the OCs, which is something I'm going to really get into with Tame Impala. I think that's a very important influence, personally at least. That's what I hear.
No, I can definitely get that.
You have Tame Impala, of course. He blows up around the time of Currents, a little bit before that even. And I think he does help define a lot of the psychedelic pop that came afterwards, even if it's not all like doesn't spring from him. I think his sort of fame and image definitely contributes to the new wave of it.
Currents was just so huge that I think it was kind of impossible to ignore afterwards.
Yes.
Not everything took inspiration from it though, which we'll get into too. But I think you can hear a little bit of them in MGMT, especially the album we're going over today.
I think it's less direct inspiration, although definitely a little bit of that it leaks in, and more of that it was just such a huge album at a time where psychedelic pop was already increasing its sort of popularity, that of course record companies and people are going to want a sound that's closer to what he did.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's true.
So even if it's not a direct influence, it's definitely music was moving in that direction. And the thing is, the very interesting thing is that maybe we'll get into it with Tame Impala. We'll probably will, but I'll talk a little bit about it now. Is that he is sort of just one part of a wider Australian wave of neo psychedelica, which is something I didn't really notice until I looked into it. Because like you have Tame Impala, of course, but then you also have King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, right?
I completely forgot they were Australian. Yeah.
Yes, right. You also have technically Little Unknown Mortal Orchestra is New Zealand band. All of the members I believe
and they're
are
right
from
there.
New Zealand. Even
yeah,
and they were formed in Portland, but they are a New Zealand band. And you have a lot of Australian bands. I'm kind of blanking a little bit more on the other ones exactly, but it's definitely an interesting sound from that sort of region, right?
No, it for sure is.
And then I would say it definitely was I said that twice, pretty popular genre in the 2000s, not 2000s, 2010s.
It was a little bit inescapable.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to call it an indie darling, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
MGT kind of,
sort of a
MGMT kind of,
sort of
yeah,
a
hipster
hipster
darling, yeah,
sort of a
for
hipster
sure,
genre,
for sure. You would go to Starbucks on your laptop and listen to MGMT.
Well, even now
you
you'll hear Tame Impala and MGMT and
oh
Starbucks,
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But it was a different thing back in the 2010s.
Yeah,
it was chic back then.
Yeah, it's chic. The thing I like about this genre is that it is chic and it is pop and it is popular, and that a lot of people like it. But there's a lot of depth. It's not just like by the numbers pop. I think all of the bands we're talking about today definitely have a lot of depth to them.
Yeah, I was not bored listening to any of these albums. At all.
Me neither.
I mean, there's two that I think are a little similar. But even then, I think every single album here is very unique and is done differently.
Yes.
And it's a very good display overall of how the sound changed over time and how it really developed in the 2010s.
Yes, I would say so too. All
Shall
right, do you
we
want to
get right into it?
Yeah, let's get into the albums.
All right. So at number 1, we have Mid-Air Thief with the album Crumbling, which has a 3.92. So a little bit of background about Mid-Air Thief. There's honestly not a ton to say. So he performs under pseudonyms. Nobody knows who he actually is. He's a Korean artist that started making music in around 2012, and it was more electronic. I saw comparisons to like Flying Lotus to his old sound.
A little bit. I can see that.
He changed his it was Hugh. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
It's fine.
But in 2015, he changed his alias. Oh my god. To Gangjung Dorak.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And released. I think I got that right. And released a debut of the same name. It is very psychedelic, but it's less poppy. It's still a little bit. A little more folk oriented. I like this album a lot. I don't like it as much as Crumbling. But this got him like more acclaim, especially in Korea. It was nominated for a best modern rock album at the Korean Music Awards, which is a little strange. It wasn't really a rock album. I don't really understand what they're doing there.
No,
he is not a fan of how they categorize things. He is on record of saying. So he changed their project's name to Mid-Air Thief in 2018, and then released the album Crumbling, which won Best Dance Electronic Album at the same Korean Music Awards the following year.
Yeah, that is crazy also.
He was not happy with that. And ever since
you could dance
then,
to this if you wanted to.
It would be really hard, I feel, but I guess it's possible. Ever since then, he's refused every interview. Since 2019, he's been keeping it really low key. He released 2 different albums, one in 2022 and one in 2025, under 2 different pseudonyms on Bandcamp, unrelated to his original page, I'm pretty sure. And these are more electronic, like IDM albums, like influenced by Aphex Twin.
Cool.
He goes away from the psychedelic sound after this album, which I thought was interesting because I really love this album. And he kind of just like strays away from that sound more and more. But it goes back to his original sound because he was originally more of an electronic artist. He got folky and psychedelic
influences.
Yeah, and then it gets a little more electronic again in Mid-Air Thief. Because Crumbling does have a lot of electronic influences, incredible, like crazy production, but using it in a way to make it sound psychedelic and warm. And it's really well done. And then he kind of abandons the folk. I haven't listened to these albums yet. I literally found out they existed researching this. I would need to listen to them at some point. But
I'm quite interested.
But he abandons the psychedelia and the folk and goes back to electronic music. So I think that's really interesting.
I think it's interesting
I'm very interested in listening to those.
The sort of folk, the folk qualities of this album are a little underplayed, I think, in its coverage. It's very much like folktronica is one of its genres, but I would say that's definitely one of the things that makes this stand out.
It's a big piece. It's the most unique album on this list, I feel, that we're going through, in my opinion.
I'm not sure I would
at the
agree,
very least.
But it is pretty unique.
It's really, really complex, and the arrangements are super beautiful. It's just really, really, really a well done record. I need to go through some of these songs here.
I find his vocal style. It's 2 vocalists, right? It's a guy and a girl, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's him, and then it's a woman he's collaborating with for the album.
Gotcha. I think his vocal style. I saw someone say this. I can't remember who it was. Maybe a music review site. But his vocals are definitely a little Kevin Parker esque. That sort of
I
higher.
kind of see it.
Not quite falsetto, right?
I feel like he's
but
more
definitely in the higher
inspired by
range.
the stuff in the '60s with his vocals.
I see what you mean. The sort of harmonies of the Beatles or
Yeah,
Beach Boys.
especially
I
more
think,
Beach Boys is
mhm.
what I was thinking.
I can see both. I can see both.
Either way, though, I think you're
Yeah.
probably right that it was a little bit of both. He really does make it his
Mhm.
own. It's a very his
Yeah.
vocals are very unique. The harmonies are
Yes,
beautiful.
definitely.
The
Harmonies are
use of
beautiful.
electronic music with the folk sounds, the psychedelic
Yes,
elements
yes.
all blend together very, very well.
I would say
Why?
my top two
Yeah, wait, you go for it.
tracks. Curve and Light, of course. This is the big standout one. This is the one that
Mhm.
most people have heard. This album is it's a little bit of an indie darling, to be honest. I remember hearing about it and people every now and then in music, people find something that they act like it's the second coming of Christ or the Beatles, which are bigger
This
than Christ.
this did get that
as we all
treatment a
know.
little bit.
Yeah, and this definitely, I'm not going to say it was overhyped or anything, but it had a lot of hype behind it around the time it came out and for a couple of years following it.
For
you
sure.
know. I probably listened to it for the first time around like 2021, so I wasn't on like I didn't listen to it when it was released, but even in 2021 the hype was still there. And yeah,
Mhm.
Curve and Light is a great song. That's mostly the one that I'd listened to before this. I had listened to the album once, but Curve and Light was the song that I listened to the most, and that's a very more traditionally poppy. I'd say less folksy, cut
Mhm.
from this album. More, just psychedelic pop with a lot of what did I say? Synthy, warm, soft little wubs, wub,
Yeah.
wub. But it's good. It's good. I like that a lot. And I'm also a fan of, I believe, Crumbling Together. It gets a little bit more experimental towards the end. It's one of the longer tracks.
That's so interesting
But-
to me.
But it's another one that I do like. And then These Chains is also pretty good. But to be honest with you, Casey,
Uh-huh.
this might be a controversial opinion, and that's what we're here for.
I am here for it.
Have never liked this album.
Really?
Listening to it back in the day, listening to it now, it's an album that I just don't think is that interesting. I think there are some interesting ideas. I think a couple of the songs are good, but I don't get the hype, It doesn't sound... It doesn't really keep my attention a lot of the times, Like, it's all right, but it
can see
doesn't
what you
sound
mean.
revolutionary.
I like
to me.
this one a lot.
Mhm.
But I understand what you mean. Sometimes I honestly prefer their debut to this one, but
I'll check it out.
I really love Why.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the intro, especially of that track, is just incredibly well done and
Mhm.
beautiful, and the build up for it is like amazing. These Chains is a great song. Crumbling Together, as you said, is a
yeah.
really good one.
Yes.
And it doesn't overstay its welcome for me.
It is nice that it's a short album.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes. It's not like a crazy time commitment to put this on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I do appreciate that.
musically, I feel like it's pretty complex.
Oh, definitely.
And I think
He's doing a lot here.
yeah, I've come to appreciate it more over time. But I get like you not loving this album though. For sure.
Yeah, I was hoping to come to appreciate it a little bit more, but like I have the same opinion as I did the first time I listened to it, in that it's interesting, but it doesn't necessarily fascinate me.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say about this album?
No, I like it a lot.
I think it's all right.
I find it hard to describe just because the way it's produced is like...
Yeah.
It's just hard to describe it other than like vague terms like electronic and psychedelic. It's
folksy. I think it's more folksy towards the end. There's a lot of acoustic guitar
it
on
develops
this one.
more into folk later on.
I appreciate the
for
acoustic guitar. I think.
Yeah, I like it. I think
blends.
I like his vocals a lot, but yeah, for me, a good record.
Understandable. With that, we can get into the next album, which is
going to be Tame Impala's Currents.
Thank you.
A 3.68, of course. And so everyone knows Currents.
2015?
Yep, yes, 2015.
Probably
it's the biggest album here, for sure.
I think so. I think it would be.
It would be a hard case to say that
huge,
MGMT is bigger.
Currents it's different.
MGMT was more of an indie darling. This was like playing on the radio a lot more than MGMT ever was.
Even these days it plays.
Yeah. Inescapable. Production is very lush here. Let me get into the band a little bit more. So, Tame Impala is Kevin Parker's band. He's Australian.
Wait, Casey, is just one guy?
I don't think anymore. I think it used to be one guy.
Oh, okay. That'd be crazy if Tame Impala was just one guy.
I forget. I don't know anymore.
You don't know that old joke?
No, I do know the joke. I don't know if it's accurate anymore. I don't think it's accurate anymore. I think it was accurate in 2015. Possibly.
Yeah, when this album was made, I'm pretty sure.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it is actually crazy for how much of a meme that is, but like it is true that this is like crazy work for...
It's crazy that it's just one guy.
One guy's work is kind of insane.
So he's a musician from Perth. He started releasing music in 2007, or he started his project in 2007, started releasing in 2008. And his debut album, Inner Speaker, became certified gold in Australia.
I'm
gonna come out and say it. It's his best album. It's his best album. Inner
Speaker
is his best. Yes, yes. Okay,
I think so too.
He peaked with his debut, which is crazy. It's great. It's
such a good sound. I just
and Lonerism is also great. The follow-up in 2012.
Not bad.
Which gave him even more acclaim than Inner Speaker did. It reached platinum in the Australia charts, and it was nominated for a Grammy Award. And then, so he was working with some disco stuff. I forget exactly what it was. I did not write it down when I was researching them, but he was working with like this weird disco thing he was into. And then he released Currents like a year later. So you can kind of see like more dance grooves in Currents than in the other two albums for sure. It's definitely a shift in sound. It's a lot more synth driven. It's a lot more dance driven.
A lot less psychedelic rock and more psychedelic pop.
A lot more synth pop too. He's basically not 100%, but it's less guitar driven. And for that complete shift in sound, he was awarded with like crazy amounts of success. This album blew up. It has like what? I'm pretty sure that some of these songs have like 1 billion streams. I would not be surprised.
It's
at all I wouldn't be surprised. It won the ARIA Award for Best Rock Album and Album of the Year. I didn't see Grammy on there, which is interesting that Lonerism was nominated for a Grammy and this one wasn't, which I find...
That is kind of crazy.
It's a little crazy. I don't know. What else was released in 2015 that would get Best Rock Album of the Year? I can't really think
rock?
of any. Well, they don't know what genres are.
Yeah, they don't know what genres are either.
But Yeah, and then he released some other stuff that all kind of wasn't as good, but we don't need to talk about that. We're gonna get straight into Currents.
Yo, I also think that. I think that this.
I think it's a very popular opinion that
Slow
after
Rush
Currents,
is okay.
yeah, the
It's
new one
all
is
right.
not worth listening to.
I haven't even checked it out.
You shouldn't.
But
So
like you said, it's crazy that this album, being as big as it is, like in terms of popularity, is really really good.
it is really good, and people underplayed this one to glaze Inner Speaker and Lonerism, as they should.
Yeah,
I think both of them are better albums, but this one has a lot going for it, and it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
No, absolutely.
Maybe
something I
you
came
could-
to. What's up?
I feel like you could say it might be a little bit overproduced as a critique of it, but I don't really care. I just don't really care.
Yeah.
My other big criticism of it is the stupid voice he does in Past Life, where the guy's talking in rhymes.
We're gonna get there.
Okay. Yeah. Otherwise,
I came to the conclusion though that just straight up, plain and simple, I just gotta say Kevin Parker is probably a musical genius.
100%.
Even if you think his music a little bit boring, just listening to this is like, yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do that? Yeah,
it's crazy. Let's get into the songs a little bit. For me, let's see. Let It Happen, of course, very popular. But that doesn't really stand out to me that much.
Really?
I love The Moment. The Moment is great.
Moment is great.
I love the chorus on The Moment. The choruses on this also really stand out. I think that's something that probably
he does very
like
good.
we said, separates. They're great choruses throughout all this, and I think it's also something that definitely makes psychedelic pop stand out from psychedelic rock. Very chorus focused,
Oh yeah.
But I love the sort of, it's getting closer in this track. It kind of builds on itself and keeps going up and up and up. I love
Murray, there is a
I
song with
that.
2 billion streams on here.
Really?
Can you
I
guess
have an
which
idea
one it
what
is?
It's New Person?
No, it's not New Person.
Is it The Less I Know?
It is The Less I Know.
Makes sense.
Which is my favorite song on the record, because I'm basic like that.
Yeah, it's really.
But it's just so good.
It's really good. It's an all-timer, like legit.
The bass line is incredible. It's just like driving forwards.
It's so catchy too.
It's so catchy.
It's catchy, but it's complex and
you can cry to it so easily, and I have.
Yeah.
It's like if you're
Really?
not
Oh
if you're not in a good headspace, like if you're in a bad headspace listening to this song, it gets to you. Unfortunately, I do know that.
Wow.
But otherwise, we're not going to talk about that song. Everyone knows that song already.
Okay.
I want to talk about Past Life, because that song makes me a little annoyed.
This is one of my favorite songs on this.
Past Life is okay. Wait, hold on. Let me have my take on this first.
Okay.
It's a great song musically. Like, it's very good, but I hate, like, it actively ruins the song for me. The vocals he has when he's doing like the spoken word, where it's deep and like echoey and just dumb. I don't understand why he did. No.
A lot of hip hop artists did this in the 2010s too. They would have a spoken section in like a deeper voice. Kendrick does it a little bit on "To Pimp a Butterfly," although the context is very different. Context is very different, to be fair. But it was sort of a popular thing to do back then.
I get it. It feels whiny on here.
I love it.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. For me, this is also the only song.
Oh my goodness! This is the only track where you can hear his thick ass Australian accent. I love it.
That is
I love
kind
it
of
so
true.
much.
That is kind of true. Honestly, I keep on forgetting he's Australian until I get to that song.
I know. You can't really notice until this song. And he's like 12:30 or however the hell. That was really bad. Oh, God,
That's
cut
something
that.
like
Cut
that.
that.
No, we're keeping that one in.
Oh man.
12:30. I don't know. I just
That's
did one
even worse. Oh,
I just
goodness.
did one even. I was just trying to make fun of you, and I ended up doing it worse.
That was really bad.
We're gonna cut that one though.
ka.
We're gonna cut that one though.
Let's just do ka. My ka.
I can't say
That's
that
good enough.
word on a good day.
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
say
not
that.
gonna-
You say that word normally. Like you say it like
yeah,
that.
I
normally,
say
so
that like that normally. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Good album.
But then I would. Great album. 'Cause I'm a Man. That's another big.
That-
stand
yeah,
for me.
yeah, no, I love that
song.
one. That
'Cause
that
I'm
one.
A Man Woman. That's so good.
That one grew on me a lot over the course of listening to it for the podcast.
I think I like that one more than The Less I Know the Better these days. Is really
I
good.
might agree with you. It's really grown on me. I like that one a lot.
Mhm.
It's definitely a standout.
And
I still think
then
Less I Know the
the-
Better is my favorite, but I think that's my number 2 at this point.
And then New Person, Same Old Mistakes. This is a song that I get emotional to. When you're in
It's-
your feelings,
yeah.
in your bag
Yeah.
about, everything.
Yeah, no, it's
you
a good
listen to
one.
this song, and it's like, damn, he's right. Sometimes I listen to this on the New Year, and I'm like, damn, I'm the same person I was last year, and I get really,
No,
really,
you know
really
what?
Drake
You
type
gotta.
of- on a Drake type of beat.
You gotta. You just gotta make those resolutions and stick with them, and then you're good.
Yeah, I've already forgotten them, but it's true.
I have no idea. I
He
think
did-
mine was
it's
something
like
really
we're,
stupid.
like we're saying, yeah, like we're saying, his songwriting is also it's simple, easy to understand. But
yeah,
it's,
it's
also not
poppy,
bad,
but it's good. It's solid.
It's pretty direct. He doesn't really speak in
He-
like metaphors or anything.
I don't think you go to this album for the songwriting though necessarily. I think you
Yeah.
go because the incredible
Mhm.
production, the
The,
hooks
the
he
catchy
has.
choruses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's the big appeal here. I
It's
understand why it
still-
blew up so
mhm.
much. It's
It's still sort of
very easy to
rocky,
listen
but
to.
it's definitely more poppy.
very synth driven, and synth pop also
Absolutely.
huge right now. It was getting huge back then too. Makes complete
can-
sense
yeah.
why this blew the hell up. Also, can we
We're
talk
gonna
about the
get-
cover art?
mhm.
It's fantastic.
Cover art is, it's definitely all timer.
It is an
I've
all-timer.
got to say, it's at the very least for the 2010s. If this isn't in your top 10 cover arts for that decade,
Oh yeah, and the way it
It's
kind of
gotta be.
fades out into black in the corner.
it's got to be.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, lovely cover art. It's iconic. It's fantastic. Much like the album itself, even if it's not the most challenging thing, right? Even if the sound, I don't think the sound gets old in this album, but I think him continuing to do this sort of sound, like why
Yeah,
wouldn't he,
it's-
of course. But
I
him
mean, yeah.
continuing to do this sort of sound, it does get a little old, right?
I mean, his next album
I
also
think-
did fantastically for him, so it makes sense for him to keep going with it.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think this is at the perfect sort of midway point between his more sort of indie career that he had in the beginning and his
Mhm.
huge world sensation pop career he has now.
For sure.
This is it still has that sort of indie vibe. I think it still feels a
A little bit, yeah. And he
you
loses
know.
that on the next one, for sure.
There's a little bit of an edge here still.
Yeah, not as much
Which
as
he does
Inner
lose.
Speaker or Lonerism, but
Yes,
It's still
and that's why I
present.
think those albums are a little bit better, but it's still
Yeah.
incredible of an album.
Inner Speaker is so good. I'm gonna listen to that the second this podcast is over.
Me too. All right. Speaking of, we talked a little bit about synth pop. Speaking of that, let's get
we're
into
getting
the next
right
album,
into-
Little Dark
um,
Age, MGMT, 2018, 3.72, number 18.
It's
for
weird
2018,
how
right?
it's scaled because it has a higher score than Currents, but it's lower because
Mhm.
Currents has like so many ratings.
I forgot that's how it works.
Yeah,
My goodness.
it's weighted a little bit. Not that it's
Now,
a,
let
it's
me-
a
let me-
0.04 difference. It's not crazy.
Yeah. Let me guide you through my history of this album a little bit.
Okay.
I actually did listen to this one when it came out in high school.
Oh, okay.
And it was making a lot of noise. I remember everyone was talking about it. Like, not like it wasn't necessarily a normie album, but if you were into sort of music, quote unquote,
You knew about
this
it.
is definitely an album you heard about, right?
Mhm.
And I listened to it, Little Dark Age. I started with the title track and then I listened to the whole album again, and I did not like it at all. I thought it was really boring. I thought it was
Mhm.
repetitive. I thought wasn't interesting. I was like,
So
why
when
is this album
when
so
I first
hyped?
listened to it, I had the same exact thought. I was like, "Is that
And
it?"
I was like, Little Dark Age sucks. This is it.
Like people
And I
were,
will
but
say,
people were like glazing MGMT, and then
the
I listened
hell
to
out of
this,
it. Yeah,
and I was like,
I
"Really?"
didn't get it.
I didn't understand either.
And
But
I will
I
say,
understand it now.
going back to it, I think this is a perfect album.
Really?
That's my opinion. I think this is a perfect album. Listening back to it as many times as I have. To be fair, I haven't listened to this as much as Tame Impala, Carnes, but
Hmm.
that's just the way it is. It might not be the most listenable album, I think, but I think it is straight through. It's incredible. I think
I
I had a
have
complete 180 on this.
I have a better appreciation for this one after listening to it over and over again for sure.
I'll go a bit into the history of this.
Uh-huh.
So Ben Goldwasser and Andrew Van Weingarten meet the Indiana and a Memphis boy. They meet at uni in Connecticut, right?
Mhm.
And they start this band, originally called The Management, but that was the name of another band, so they changed it to MGMT, right? A little bit shorter and more unique. I think it definitely helped them out a lot. And they come out with their first album. What was their first album again? Oh my goodness, I forgot to write it down. Oracular Spectacular, right?
Yeah.
That's their first album. Before that, even they had Time to Pretend, and that also blew up. But Oracular Spectacular really blew up. An interesting connection that I found, just from reading their Wikipedia, is that by the time of their release of their first album, they had already been touring with a little act called Of Montreal in 2006. 2005.
Oh, see, I actually read about that
Yes.
earlier when researching of Montreal.
Really?
Yeah.
It is interesting, right? So there's that little
It's-
connection there.
Yeah.
Them taking
Everything's
from
connected.
the sort of older generation of psychedelic pop and doing their own thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Oracular Spectacular 2006, and that album blows the hell out. Blows the hell up, right? By the time
Oh,
their
yeah.
next album releases, you get people like Paul McCartney saying they're a fan. They're touring with huge bands, MIA, Beck, right? But it just keeps going up from there. They released Congratulations in 2010. This is their highest rated album on regular music, I think.
That
I
makes
haven't
sense.
actually listened to it, but it's very critically acclaimed. I need to actually listen to
Yeah.
it because
We should all just do a
it
deep
looks
dive.
interesting. Yeah, well, I have some ideas for that. And then in 2012, 2013, you get MGMT, right? Um, I don't. I don't think this one was as critically acclaimed or well received. So the band definitely reached a nadir, right? A low point, sort of, with this one. Like Oracular Spectacular, that was definitely the most popular one, and they blew up from that. And then Congratulations, decently popular, but eh, you know, MGMT from 2011, 2012, 2013 actually. Definitely the band reached a low point. They took a long break after that, right? This album was from 2018. They took a 4 or 5 year break. And reading
Didn't
about
they do
the
that
sort of
again too afterwards?
yeah, they took a few years break. And reading about the sort of, they've reached a low point. They felt like, they couldn't ever achieve the success of Oracular Spectacular again. And I think that caused them to sort of rethink their sound, to try something else new.
Mm.
And then in 2018, they come out with, of course, Little Dark Age, right? And this is another sort of smash hit. I still don't think it was as big as Oracular Spectacular, but it was very, very well received, like I
I mean,
said.
it was hard to escape again, everybody knows the song "Little Dark Age."
Yeah, especially that had another life
yeah,
with TikTok and everything.
Yeah, there were some unfortunate connotations.
It's not their fault. It's not their
It's
fault.
not their, but you can't blame them.
But this album is, yeah, like I said, they were in a sort of darker space, with the sort of commercial and critical. I wouldn't say failures, but definitely it didn't reach
just
the
a commercial low point.
Their first couple of yeah. And so they were in sort of a darker space. Definitely psychedelic. All their stuff is psychedelic, but this one is certainly psychedelic.
Yeah, and with
bordering on. Mm-hmm.
It was more of a. Well, their other stuff was synthy too, right?
Yeah,
I'm kind of forgetting.
But this one definitely
has
one,
it's different. It's more pronounced.
Absolutely, it has a darker sort of. I believe one of the genres or influences for this is like dungeon synth or something like that.
I don't hear
and
that. And
I would say it does. I think a little Dark Age does get a little bit into it. It has that more. I don't know, kind of droney. I'm not really having lush.
No, it's
for it. But
it's
you can tell
hypnagogic. It's hypnagogic pop.
Hypnagogic. Okay, gotcha.
Which is we should get into that at some point too.
We should. That's an interesting. From what I've heard of it, it's an interesting little genre, right? But you can definitely tell that they were in a darker headspace for this one, and I think it really does the album a lot of favors. Another thing interesting, while we're still in the production, is that they were having a lot of sort of creative blockages, I guess you could say. What's the word? It's like writer's block, but for musicians. They were having a lot of that. And one of the people who helped them break that the most was, one of them was Conan Mackison, an Australian musician, I believe. He has some pretty good albums. Yeah, but another Australian in the psychedelic genre, right? He was one of those people that helped them break their creative blocks. And another one is the now disgraced Ariel Pink.
No. Wait, why is Ariel Pink disgraced?
Do you not know, Casey?
I don't think I do.
Ariel Pink was at January 6th.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, that's rough.
Which is a really funny thing, because do you know the reason this album is called Little Dark Age?
Well, I know the song is like it's ironically kind of like an anti-fascist song almost.
This album is called Little Dark Age because it was made in the wake of the first election of Donald Trump. And it's a little dark age because, they were hoping it would be a temporary thing. But that also contributed to the dark headspace. This album is an anti-Trump, anti-Republican album. And then one of the guys most instrumental in help making it literally goes to January 6th.
That is crazy.
A couple years after it comes out. It is insane.
I don't remember seeing
Ariel
him
Pink
there.
is... Oh, true. I didn't see him either. Ariel Pink is he's an interesting one because he I was a fan of some of his stuff before the January 6th stuff came out. I wasn't a huge fan. Like, he had a song or two I thought was good. He's also in the psychedelic pop genre, and I think he was probably sort of a big influence on a lot of the American-based acts.
I almost chose to go with him instead of Montreal.
Oh my god! If you did that, I would have loved to see a reaction when
I did not
you find out he was at January 6th.
The reason I was going to do that, this is a really dumb mistake. I mixed up Ariel Pink with Teenage Suicide somehow.
That is interesting.
I really like Kitty Ray from Teenage Suicide, so I thought that she had some weird psychedelic pop offshoot band, and and I decided against it. And I listened to the band later, and I was like, "Oh, this is not psychedelic pop at all." I was so wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, that worked out well for me, I guess.
It did work out well. It's really funny. But yeah, when I read that detail, I was like, that is crazy. I imagine at some point that they stopped being friends. I wonder what the story behind that is.
Maybe.
Because I wonder how you go from working with these guys who are like very avowedly talking about the current political state of America and how bad it is, and then one of their best friends goes to January 6th? How does that happen? I wonder what that was like.
I think,
you know?
yeah. We don't have to get too political. But we both
political.
oppose. We just have to say we
Yeah,
both
yeah.
oppose January 6th.
We do. We're not as supporters. We are not anymore, at least.
Yeah. No, we're changed. We're changed women
We're
now.
changed. Yeah, definitely. But getting into the music a little bit, actually,
Yeah.
I think this album, this might be the shortest album, actually. It's a little shorter than the Mid-Air Thief. I think wall to wall, end to end, it's just bangers, right? I think I'm gonna go through this. She Works Out Too Much is
great.
Probably one of the more poppy songs, which is interesting because it's not really played that much on radio. But I think it's so catchy. This is like the catchiest album.
It's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starts out with an absolute banger.
You think that eventually this album will get too poppy and it'll get boring and the hooks won't be as catchy. But no, it just stays catchy throughout the whole thing, right? You go straight into Little Dark Age for the next one. And that song, I hated that song the first time I heard it. I was like, this is so boring. It doesn't sound like anything. And while we're on bad opinions, I have to admit, I think the TikTok version is better. I think when it's pitched down, it sounds much more darker, and the bass comes out a lot better. I think it actually sounds better, and when it's slowed and pitched, legitimately.
I have a take about this song too, and it's that I can only think of like those terrible Fash Wave edits whenever I hear the song.
What's your favorite one?
My favorite Fash Wave edit? I don't have one. What do you mean?
Your favorite Little Dark Age edit? Or Fash Wave, whatever.
Oh, you know what? There might be one about like that one dude from. Oh my god, the guy, that one Maoist that people pretend to like. I forget what his name is.
Who? The
one
Peruvian one?
Yeah, the Peruvian guy.
Oh, I don't remember his name either. It's
I
like
feel like I saw one of those. It was
Gonzalo, Chairman
Gonzalo.
Yeah.
I might have liked one of those.
I can't lie to you, even though it was sort of fascization adjacent, even when it was happening, I loved Little Dark Age edits. I thought it was so aura. I was like, this rocks.
That's how they normalized it.
True. That's what led to the election of Donald Trump again.
You fell victim to it, and that's why you voted for Trump in the election.
That's why I went to January 6th,
Yeah.
But my favorite is the I love the Napoleon one. That's based off the movie. That one has so much aura. It's incredible.
I need to watch the movie.
I don't even no, it's before. It's the old movie. It's based on the one from like the 80s. It's got even more aura. It's incredible.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I haven't watched any Napoleon movie, but I should.
I highly recommend that edit, even though I don't think it's on YouTube.
You recommend the edit?
It's a good edit. It's really good.
All right, I'll look for it.
I'll look up edit.
Napoleon Little Dark Age edit on YouTube. I'll look it up.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, just have it play at the very end.
So true. But yeah, this song really blew up with the TikTok sort of renaissance, and it's a great song. There's so much to it. I love the synths. Not to stay on the song for too long, but the darker, overbearing, like powerful synths, especially towards the end where they just get like droning and like just like
No, I agree. It gets more complex over time. It's a nice song.
There's so many layers to each of these songs. I think you can listen to these songs on like, not to sound too pretentious, but you listen to them on the bass layer, right? And you just kind of hear the poppiness, the sort of synth pop, sort of, radio easy listening. And then you listen a little bit deeper and you hear all the sort of complexities and the different,
No, I get you for
parts of production that really come out. It's such a
short album. What song I wanna bring to light real quick? Me and Michael is a standout track for me. I like that one a lot.
Really good. I hadn't heard this ever since listening to it for the first time, and I was blown away by it again. It's really good, really poppy. I don't know what the hell it's about, but great song. Great song, very catchy. TSLAMP. Now this is another song I really love. Time spent looking at my phone. I know I keep saying these things are just catchy, but
it is
it
a
doesn't
catchy
even
one.
begin to describe it.
I don't
And
love it
I
as
love
much
that
as
it's poppy,
the
but
four before it. I'm gonna be honest though.
I love that it's all poppy, but it's also not bubblegum, right?
Yeah,
There's
it has a
definitely this
little
sort
bit
of
of a darker edge to it.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of edge and like forebodingness to this album, which I love. James, I would probably say, is one of the lesser tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't really have much to say about it. By the way,
Yeah. It's
like,
fine. It's not a bad song.
yeah, I think it's still really good. I think it's still really good. But compared to the other tracks, James and Days That Got Away, I believe, not not as much to say about them.
I would
One
also
thing left
say
to try.
I don't love When You're Small.
I like When You're Small a lot. I listened to that again recently because I wanted to see how I felt about it because I felt the same as you. But no, this song is great.
Okay.
Love
I'm
it.
gonna listen to the album again. It's short.
Hand it over. Great ending. Yeah, and it's just I don't know. We've already been talking about it for so long, but it's just a lovely album. I think it deserves all of its reputation and more.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel kind of bad that I don't know MGMT that well.
Yeah,
I need to listen to more of their stuff because literally aside from Electric Feel, I haven't listened to much MGMT beyond this album. So
yeah,
I should check
I
out more of them.
agree with you. I'm gonna have to listen to more of them too. I just kind of missed out when they were really big.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's get into the host pick.
You
and
first.
We are starting with me.
We did this in a
We're
really
starting with
weird
me.
way. Where we
I did do
both
this in a
go.
weird way.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
We both went twice. It's just turned out that way. Okay, so next is Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Their eponymous album, Unknown Mortal Orchestra, from 2011, 3.26. Like I said earlier, Unknown Mortal Orchestra is a band composed of New Zealanders. Ruben Nielsen, his brother Cody, their bassist Jacob Portrait, and sometimes a really cool fact is that it's Ruben and his brother, right? And sometimes their dad, who is a jazz musician from like the
that's
80s or
interesting.
something, he tours with them. He plays saxophone and he plays with them live sometimes. So I believe on their Tiny Desk concert he was there. It was sort of a so it's sort of a family band, which is cool. And this has their origins in the late 2000s. Ruben Nielsen had a band in New Zealand called the Mint Chicks. They were more of a... I never listened to them, but I get the feeling they're more of a rocky, psychedelic rocky type band, But then
I feel like these guys are
2009
kind of psych rocky. Too,
yeah, definitely.
For sure, the most rocky band that we're listening to.
Yeah, I would say so too. 2009, Ruben moves to Portland, Oregon, right? He releases Funny Friends in 2010. This has a sort of interesting story. He releases Funny Friends on a Bandcamp from the band Unknown Mortal Orchestra. And no one knows anything about this band, right? There's no details about it or where they're from. It just says that they're a band from Portland and they released this one song and it blows up, right? It becomes sort of a... I don't want to use the word indie darling again, but like Pitchfork covers it. It becomes sort of its underground sort of, ooh, who is this band? And this mysterious band that released this single that's really good. What is this all about? Right, and this is like Pitchfork at its apex. This is the peak hipster, sort of Portlandia
when
days,
they still had more power back then.
Absolutely, they ruled with an iron fist, and so that builds a lot of hype for the album, which releases in 2011, right? To pretty decent praise, right? I think they were already at the Pitchfork Music Festival, I believe, by 2012. So it was sort of a big break for them. And like I said earlier, this is another band from New Zealand in that sort of area of the world, which is interesting, right? Another psychedelic entry.
They all come from Australia.
Yeah. Australia, New Zealand, same thing. But yeah, this is it's a great album. I heard this in high school, definitely. I remember how I found it. It might have been from SoundCloud or just Spotify randomly. But when I found it, I was like, this is really, really good. This isn't their most popular album, and it's not their most well-reviewed album on radio music ever, either. But it's my favorite. I listened to this a lot back in high school. So I'm kind of fond of it, you know?
So I've actually never heard of this band before you sent me a link to it.
Really?
Yeah. And I ended up liking them. My opinion of this band took a turn because at first I was like, this is really nothing special. And I don't think it's anything crazy unique or anything they're doing here, but they do what they do well. It's a very well written pop record and rock record.
Absolutely.
It's very, very much inspired by the 60s psychedelic sound. Probably more than any other band that we're going to be talking about or have talked about today. And they do it very well. Funny Friends is great.
Yeah. It's a great rocky sort of... Yeah, it's a great rocky sort of intro. It's probably the most popular song from this It's probably the most popular song from this album. It's a great rocky, very powerful sort of psychedelic rock, but also with poppy elements. Track, it's one of my favorites on this. But I also love Bicycle. Bicycle's so catchy.
Bicycle is
Thought
good.
Balloon 2. I will say the next two entries are not quite as interesting, but they're not boring either. They have their own sort of appeal, I think.
Yeah,
Little
I
Blue
never
House
get
is
bored
another
listening
one.
to this.
Yeah, it's short and sweet as well. It's only actually this is the shortest album. I keep saying that, but this is actually
this is only half an hour.
Only half an hour. Little Blue House, very catchy, very short, you know, and it's simple, but they're doing a lot with the simplicity.
Did you look at their Rate Your Music page for this album?
No, what is it? For this album?
Yeah, I want you to look at the
what
second review for it.
Second review, let's see. They're like Tame Impala's retarded cousin, and I mean that in a good way, kind of. But I'm taking a liking to this unique album from 2011. What does that even mean?
Who knows? It's nonsense.
What does that even mean? That's crazy. I mean, in 2011, Tame Impala was doing like Inner Speaker and stuff, and
that was
sound,
Inner Speaker. Yeah.
But,
I mean, I guess that
so.
makes more sense, but that's still like, what are you talking about?
My only
people are so strange.
standout negative point for this album is I think they go a little bit overboard on the lo-fi sound, where they try to make it sound like a tape track.
Yeah,
they do that a little bit too much on this one.
They kind of do it every song.
Yeah, every single song. It starts to sound a little bit too much. I think all the albums we talk about have that lo-fi sound purposefully.
This one definitely does it to a higher degree than the others.
A lot, you know. They're trying very hard to give it that 80s tape track vibe, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes it does, but, you know, great album. Very
this
short,
is the most simple, straightforward.
Catchy.
Yeah. No, it's just a very solid pop rock album.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you liked it.
And
all right, let's finish this out.
Our last one is going to be Of Montreal with Paralytic Stalks. So I've listened to Of Montreal before.
I haven't.
They had a very cutesy debut called Cherry Peel.
Okay.
And it didn't really stick with me that much, except for two songs, which was Everything Disappears When You Come Around, which is like a very cute little love song, and then the song Tim, I Wish You Were Born a Girl.
They did that song?
They did do that song.
I think you said that to me before.
I think I definitely did. Basically, what that song is saying is that he's in love with his best friend Tim and wishes he was a girl so he could be in love with him.
Yeah.
And
that album's from 1997.
You know, that was from 97. He came out as bisexual and non-binary in 2020.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it took him
That's
a
so
bit to
cool.
get it. It took him a bit to get it.
That's so cool.
So it's the project by Kevin Barnes.
Another Kevin.
Yeah, a lot of Kevins.
Hey,
And
Kevin,
of
you
Montreal,
have to make psychedelic pop.
all of no, what am I talking about? So of Montreal is part of the Elephant Six Collective, which had bands like Neutral Milk Hotel and the Olivia Tremor Control Project.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They were more like folk oriented back then, I think. Like psychedelic 100%, but a little more folk focused. By the time Paralytic Stalks come around, though, there's not a whole lot of folk going on here.
Well, he's been in the music industry for 10 years, more than 10 years at this point.
Yeah. I mean, he's very indie, for sure.
Definitely.
This is not their most popular album by any means. I don't even want to get through all the other albums because in between this one and their debut, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 albums. So he's an indie artist for sure. Just releases whenever. Sound changed a lot though, from like the twee, folky, like slacker sound of the debut. Is full on psychedelic. Really, I want to call it more progressive pop because it sounds almost like a prog record in a lot of ways. It's constantly shifting around and changing, and everything is very complex. It's very much more polished and less lo-fi than the other albums, I think. At least in my opinion.
Yeah. It's definitely. I think this is the most different album of the ones we're doing today.
That's fair. That is a fair. So actually, that's a good point. But it's really out there. It's
definitely experimental.
It's grown off me and then grown back on me again in the process of talking about this album.
It's funny.
I really love "We Will Commit Wolf Murder."
I like that one too. That's
a
one of the ones that
fantastic
stand out for
song.
me.
Door percentage, incredible. Spiteful
I think
Inversion.
that song is interesting. Door Percentage reminds me a lot of Steely Dan. I don't know if you got that.
I kind of get what you mean. I do kind of get what you mean.
It feels very Steely Dan, which I think is interesting.
I think their first 4 songs is like a really good run, and I think it dips in quality a little bit after that. But I love the final 2 songs.
I like Renew the Plaintiff a little bit.
That one's good too. I don't think anything is bad here. But I feel like they kind of start with their best and then they go down and then they go back up a little bit.
That's fair. The last 2 are the most experimental and
20 minutes in
like
total for those 2 songs.
Multiple songs stuck into two songs.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Shifting around. It's very progressive though.
Sometimes it gets more ambient. Sometimes it gets really sort of out there, ambitious, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot
avant-garde.
less. It's a lot. How am I trying to say this? It's not as dense in its production as any of the other albums.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I can see that. I
can
see that.
With all the synth
I would say
albums,
the vocals are
the
the
vocals
here, not the
for
production.
sure. The instrumentals definitely. I mean, they're fantastic, but they aren't bogging you down with like psychedelic, like waves like you hear in Currents. It's different. It's still very psychedelic, but they take a different approach to it.
I think he's got great vocals, by the way.
He has fantastic vocals. I need to listen to more of his stuff. But yeah. Also incredible album cover. I don't even know what the fuck is going on with this.
I don't either. Very psychedelic.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I like the part at the end where it does get more drony and experimental, and then it comes back into a sort of piano piece.
Yeah.
nice and simple piano piece, gets very complex and then gets simple again. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's grown on me. There's not much
I think it's not bad.
I could find about him in the band. Unfortunately, it's just they're more indie. I saw they were touring with MGMT though around this time.
Yes. Well, a little bit earlier.
A little bit earlier, yeah.
Which is interesting, you know.
They took the psychedelic pop. They knew each other. They took it to very, very different directions.
Absolutely.
I think it's very cool how varied the genre really became in this period of time.
Yeah. I feel like of Montreal is the sort of halfway mark between the 2010 psychedelic kind of renaissance and the 2000s sort of underground, like I said, British super furry animals, animal collective, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely
There's
fair.
sort of the missing link between the two. It's very dramatic too.
Very, very dramatic.
He's got very much a flair for drama in the lyrics and stuff as well.
I don't know
Very
how he
much,
didn't just say he was bisexual and non-binary back here. I don't know how he didn't say it in 97.
I know. It's got huge theater
like,
kid
you
energy,
are
and
gay.
I mean that complimentary.
Like, yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah.
like, you are gay. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like, just be yourself. We all can tell.
It's true.
You're not surprising anyone. Yeah. Yeah. That's my hot take.
But good album. Good album.
For sure. So how are you ranking
And-
these?
Well,
saying?
let's do the conclusions first. What do we think of the genre in general?
True.
What
I have
do
a
we think?
newfound
2010s, psychedelic
appreciation
pop.
for it, for the era it's in.
Mhm.
I never really thought of 2010s psychedelic music as like,
a cohesive genre.
yeah, and I mean, I don't think it is in the same
Mhm.
way that like
It was in the
other
60s.
sounds.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but they're all. It's still kind of related to. They're all kind of related to each other. They all piggyback off each
Yeah.
other a little bit and build off each other.
It's sort of a scene, you know,
Yeah,
a collection
with
of shared
different- with
influences.
different
It's time and
sound.
music.
Yeah,
You
for
know.
sure. It's not quite
This-
the same thing throughout. It's
And I
very
didn't get
varied.
into
And I
it.
think it's very interesting.
I didn't get into it with MGMT or any of the albums when we were talking about this, but I think this sort of sound definitely has carried over into the 2020s a little bit. The sort of wubby sense, and at least
Mhm.
for MGMT album, the dark 80s sort of vibe. Like
Yeah.
it's 80s, but it's more dour and more depressive. I think you hear a lot of that sort of sound.
Yeah, I
in
think
modern pop,
especially Currents and MGMT are much more. You hear that still. in,
Yeah,
what's being
definitely.
made right
And
now.
the Sabrina Carpenters and Billie Eilish's of the world.
Oh yeah,
You,
oh yeah, for
you
sure.
hear-
It's
you hear this
it's
sort
an
of
influence
production
on
style.
the producers for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think even if it's not necessarily an underground genre. These albums, some of them more than others, had a decent amount of commercial success and radio play in certain
Mhm.
cases. But I think its influence is definitely more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I
You want to do the
want to get
rankings?
into it further. Yeah, let's do the rankings. You go first.
Okay, so in order of my favorite albums to my lesser favorite albums,
Mhm.
number 1, Little Dark Age. Like I said, perfect album. Love that. Complete 180 for me. Number 2, Currents. It's unbeatable, right? It's musical genius. Number 3, Unknown Mortal Orchestra. This is an album that I'm very fond of. I listened to this a lot when I was younger, so it means a lot to me. And listening back to it, I think it's very solid. I love this band. Number
That's beautiful.
4. Number 4. Number 4 is gonna be Crumbling.
Really,
And
I
number
thought you
5 is
were gonna
Paralytic
say
Stalks.
Paralytic Stalks.
It's close, but I think I prefer Crumbling. I think it's a bit more consistent. Paralytic Stalks, I know it was really hard on Crumbling, but there's a lot of interesting things there, even if I don't love the overall picture and think it's a little boring. Paralytic Stalks is longer,
It is a lot
and
longer.
I don't think it's as enjoyable to listen to outside of one or two songs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it's not bad, I just don't necessarily enjoy listening to it. All right, how about you?
I think I'm saying Crumbling number 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then Currents number 2.
Okay.
I think then I have My Little Dark Age number 3, then Paralytic Stalks, and then I have Unknown Mortal Orchestra. But I think it's very close all the way.
That's funny. That's funny.
On any given day, I could switch these around, to be honest. I think there were days where I was like, I like MGMT more than Currents, and I went back and forth on it. And I initially didn't like Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and then I liked them more than MGMT, and then I liked them less than MGMT. Like, so I kind of went back and forth throughout the few weeks that we were listening to these. They're all very good. There's not a bad... I don't think there's a bad album here.
No. It's interesting, because we usually talk about how Rate Your Music did. Both of us, our top 3 is from the top 3, right?
Yeah. No, it's not true.
No, you're right. Mine is
You
different.
have Unknown Mortal Orchestra.
I do have that.
I'm being a basic bitch today.
It's all right. We both have like 2 of the top 3 in our top 3.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think they do a pretty good job.
They did not do a bad job here. I think they underrated
genre.
Unknown Mortal Orchestra. I don't see how it's a 3.26. I think you're out of your mind.
I think
for
it's
that.
super underrated too. And I think, personally, I think Crumbling is a little overrated. But that's just
I don't disagree. I think it should probably be a little lower. I don't think it should be that low.
3.92 is crazy.
Like a 3.8 would be fine.
Really high.
That's probably where I would leave it. Yeah,
But
all of
good
these
genre.
are fantastic records. I had fun with
Highly
all of
recommend.
these.
Let's do a quick top 3 songs.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I can start.
Yeah, please. I'm forgetting song
All right.
names.
Top 3. Let me do it in no particular order so it's easy. New Person, Same Old Mistakes from Currents. Lovely. Little Dark Age. Amazing. And then, it's a hard tie between Funny Friends and Time Spent Looking at My Phone. But I think I'm gonna go Time Spent Looking at My Phone.
I think I'm going number 1. Oh my god, I already forgot it. I don't know what's wrong with me right now. It's not like the less I know, the better at number 1. Then I have
Right.
Why by Mid-Air Thief at number 2.
Okay.
And then I have why am I already forgetting this one too? That MGMT song, She Works Out Too Much, at number 3.
She Works Out Too Much? It's a great song.
Yeah,
It's a great
I
song.
like that one a lot.
Honestly, yeah, even our top 3 isn't that different.
No,
We both
not
have
really.
a song from Currents and Little Dark Age.
Yeah,
And then
I think it's
song
hard
from,
not to.
You know,
I think it's very hard not to.
yeah. They're great albums. Wonderful. All right, with that, you want to get into your next episode topic?
We are going straight to rage music.
All right.
We are going into rage. I'm scared of what Rate Your Music is going to make me listen to. I've already listened to all of them. It's just a very, very white taste. But that's how this website usually is. But I'm excited. I get to listen.
I'm not very.
To some of
I'm
these
a little
again.
familiar with the genre. It's a newest
I know a lot
genre,
about
well,
it.
News.
It's
News
one of the
entries we're gonna
newer
be doing.
hip hop genres. One of them.
So it should be good. You know.
Yeah. No, I'm
Should
excited.
be a good
This is gonna be a
episode.
fun one.
I'm gonna
This is
try.
be a fun one.
I'm gonna try and get it out not too long after this one comes out. So hopefully there's not too much of a break in between the two. And yeah, aside from that, check us out on Spotify, Patreon, wherever you listen to podcasts. And with that was Musically Impaired. I'm Maria.
I'm Casey.
And we'll see you next time.
Take care.